and it is my great honor to introduce July Westhale, a class of 2011 Lambda Fellow in Poetry.
Hi everybody. Y'all are much more foxy from up here. So I feel just incredibly honored to be here. And everything I'm reading tonight is all completely new, thanks to the dedication of Eloise Klein-Healy. And this first one is one of the handful of stories that made up my coming out story. It's titled, Town Water Supply Contaminated, Female Teenagers to Blame. Winters Express newspaper heading, June 2003. If you live left of the vernal pool, it means you're trash. And everyone you knew was trash, except you. You had elbows that dug into my ribs when you laughed, elbows that stuck close. This was before your mom was dead, but after mine was. After we got arrested, we found a box spring at the creek and pushed it into the water to float on. It was a real treat. Most of the time, we rode pieces of water coolers that floated down from the dam, or on our backs, with our feet touching, because we had run out of ways to tread water. When we were 16, I pulled you into the town water tower and unhooked your bra, pushed you into the smell of tin and chlorine, and you cried. Your clothes hit the cop car in the park below, and we got caught. Hauled in. We shared the small cell's concrete bench, and I fell asleep with your elbow near my mouth. The next day, we were freed and rode our bikes to the creek. It was a different town then, when we still had things to talk about, which was after we met at the graffiti bridge at curfew, which was before we were arrested. I understood that we didn't talk about tin after that, just spring and almond trees. You talked about the way things smelled when they smelled nice, how the gutters smelled like marzipan. They didn't. The creek was tourmaline that morning, or ochre, sickly and soft around the edges where the mud sucked at our feet, not treading water, at our box spring. We floated through the golden carp, surfing rust-brown river trash, which would be us. This next poem is also a completely true story. Evidence I wasn't passing. It is easy to write poems on a bus when there are poems writing in the seats next to you, when the seats next to you have your stories inside them non-consensually. Once, writing to Lourdes' house, I got my arm sliced open by a man who stood behind me, who wanted my Walkman. I panicked, and the knife went into the crook of my elbow. I pulled my headphones under my shirt and kicked the man in the face. Both of us were bleeding into the seats where the poems are sitting now. When I finally leaked myself to Lourdes, he said he didn't have any rubbing alcohol. He tried to use men's cologne. I said, "What do you think got me into this mess in the first place?" Thank you.